Hello, everybody. It is Jeffrey motherfucking Damian here. Hey, it is April 14th of 2022, and I'm just here today talking a little bit about depression and, I don't know, how we respond to things, what we do, the importance of it, why. Not that I'm a doctor, because I'm not. I'm definitely no Dr. Phil up in the shizzle. Hey! I'm not. I'm Dr. Jeffrey motherfucking Damian. But no, I don't know. I'm just talking about, like, just how it's crazy sometimes. I know people don't like that word, but in general, it's just crazy or mind-boggling, I suppose we could say that. Just how different everyone is, but how similar everyone is, and how some people will never really struggle with depression, and how so many people do. I mean, it's just, I don't know, it's crazy to me. Recently, I was talking to some people that said they've never really been depressed, sad, but not depressed. I'm like, oh, I'm a little envious. Like, I just think that is so mind-boggling and so interesting as a human being to not know what depression is or what it feels like to just wake up and be over life and either want to die and not kill yourself. Like, people don't understand. Like, when you say you're depressed, it doesn't always mean you're suicidal. Like me, the majority of the time, I don't think anything like that. I might think, oh God, if I got hit by a bus, and I'm not going to say that's normal, but that is something that a lot of people say. It's also a figure of speech. It's what many people will say, like, kind of like, I'm over today, and if a bus hit me, it would suck, but oh well. But you think about that, and you think about, I don't know, you just think about human beings and the way our brains all, like, just, I don't know, the way things correlate, and sometimes the way they don't correlate. I don't know. Um, but yeah, so I just know, like, with myself personally, I know, like, as a young child, I've always been depressed since I was young. I mean, as young as I can remember, I've been sad as fuck. To me, depressed. I mean, and when I was a kid, I thought I was sad, but getting older, I realized depression. That's depression. To be sad all the time is not. That's not normal. Not to be sad. To be down here and there, whatever. That's human. That's human nature. Excuse me. That is what we are. You will have days where you're like, oh, I didn't get that raise I wanted her. Someone took my crown. You get those days where you're just over it. But to feel like that all the time, even moments of heightened happiness for me. I've been depressed during sex, and that's supposed to be fun. Um, well, sometimes it is, sometimes it ain't. But you think about that stuff. You think, like, why do these things happen? Why do some people struggle so much with it? And then, I mean, I'm pretty open about my life, and we found out well, probably 5 or 6 years ago. Our father had molested us as children. I don't remember it, and I mean, maybe he didn't with me, but I do remember as a young child, I used to think I would have nightmares of, like, sucking my dad's, penis, and it was like, what the fuck is this? Like, I thought I was sick. I mean, I knew I was sick. I was like, oh my God, something's wrong with me. And I remember that. And that weighed on me for a long time because I just thought I was sick. I really didn't know what that meant. I was like 8, 9 years old and I was having these nightmares and they went away after a while. So then I just thought, oh, maybe it was me just, I don't know, maybe I seen something online and it was going through my mind like some kids do and they think of that shit. Because we all have had weird things go through our minds. So I was like, oh my God, like what the frick? Oh, then it's so you're disgusted with yourself to have a thought or anything like that go through your head, and then later find out, then coming out like, hey, I'm gay and all these things. And I have tortured myself for years on those things. So when I finally found out our father was actually molesting us, I thought, oh my God, that actually makes sense. My depression makes sense. All these things make sense. I don't remember. And I don't really want to. If it were to happen, I mean, I guess I really wouldn't want to know details at this point. I really wouldn't. About to be 35 next month. What good will it do me at this point? But if there were things to start resurfacing that I remembered, then it would be. I mean, I would deal with it as I deal with everything in my life because that's what Jeffrey motherfucking Diamond does. It's a little cold outside, but I don't care. So with me, depression, what I do usually is I walk trails. I try to hang out with people, but then some days my depression's so bad I don't even want to do. I will cancel plans. I'm not as bad now as I used to be, but I still do it occasionally, and I don't like that. I don't know if any of you guys do that or if you've experienced that, but it's really kind of sad because then some of the people you want to spend time with are the catalyst for you to feel better. They're going to be the ones going, hey, you idiot, blah, 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 and do stupid shit that makes you laugh, and you think, okay, I can do it. I can make it through the day, And but sometimes your depression or your sadness or whatever you're going through makes you not do that. And it's sad because that's not how we're supposed to be as human beings. We're supposed to be loving and open and receptive, and sometimes the way your brain is, it's just like, no, not today. Not today. So, I don't know. With that being said, I don't know. I just have a lot on my mind. Um, I'm at a job currently now that I honestly do love my job. I do. Money is something that I'm concerned with, just because my house is like cracking and there's a million things I need to fix. So I kind of need to make some more money. There's just a lot of things that I have to do, and I can't like wait around to make more money. It's like I may have to do some stuff that I really don't want to do. Um, but I will do whatever's necessary to be successful and to make sure my house is taken care of and my finances. But that's another thing weighing on me, which I'm sure for everybody in the world, money, responsibilities, those are things that can take you from like, hey, to, oh God. Like, for real, it does. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've been in a good mood, and then next thing you know, you get a notification, this bill came out, and you're like, oh, fuck, I forgot about that, or just everything hitting at one time. Your shit, like for me, I just spent my whole bonus check on fixing my shower, and I'm like, and I am glad I did it, but then I'm broke, and it's just exhausting. Like, just being broke all the time, it makes you sad. Borrow money from people that got to pay back and figure all that out. It's just exhausting. I don't smoke crack anymore. I don't drink. But yet my life is still a mess. Mostly I do spend a lot of money eating out, so that's something I should not do. And I think that's also a thing with depression. Eating, a lot of people do that. A lot of people don't eat. It's amazing to me how different every single human being is and how they respond to stress differently. Like, I think it's amazing and interesting. I mean, it just is. To really try to like pinpoint, just how human beings are. There is no way to pinpoint it. So anyways, but yeah, so I don't know. I don't know how everyone else responds to it. For me, I think I eat. I stress a lot, and on many things I don't stress about like I used to, but there are things that I do. And I'm okay with that on some levels, because I think we all stress. We're human beings. It's what we do. But I find it very interesting. Just, I don't know. So, and then, for me too, most people know, back in 2011, March time frame. February I got sick, but March is when I was diagnosed with HIV. So God, that's been what? 11 years now. 11 years this year that I've been HIV positive. It's insanity to me. But it's been a long time. It's been 14 years since my father died, and I just can't believe that. Oh, almost 15. Oh my God, it's going to be 15 this year. Jeez. I mean, it's just crazy. HIV was probably the most severe thing I've experienced. Besides losing my aunt Edie, I loved her to death, and just coming to the house and seeing her just cold, stone cold dead. That was awful. That was something that traumatized me a little, but I had to see her because for me, closure. And I think that's what a lot of us deal with too. You lose someone, and that might have been that person to be like, hey, we're going to get through this, and that person's gone, and you're just left to your brain coming up with all these scenarios and situations, and just, I don't know. I have whole full-blown conversations with myself. If people saw me, they'd probably laugh. I'll be like, I swear I'm not completely insane, but I do have issues. So you think about those things. You think about all the things we go through as human beings and that we experience, and HIV was extremely difficult for me. Extremely. Don't Ask, Don't Tell was extremely difficult for me. Like, everybody's talking about touching titties and going out to the bars and clubs and wanting to go to strip clubs. I'm over here like, can I just stay at the hotel? And just, there was a lot of things I was a part of that I normally wouldn't have been. So I think, I don't know, it made me stronger. I think it did traumatize me a little. And maybe using traumatize, I'm using that word too much. But to me, a little bit, it did, because there was things that I just was not wanting to be around and do or interact with, and that was not stuff I believed in. I did not. It's not part of my social circle, or even what I believe in as a homosexual man. So it's just interesting though. But I do believe it made me stronger. Like, a lot of people realize I'm all over the place, and that's what ADHD does, and it's something I am trying to address. But yeah, but that really fucked me up really bad for a long time, and I didn't realize it. I remember, I think my third or fourth drill after that, they let me leave early one day, and after half a day, and they paid me for it too, and they were real supportive of me. But, as I was driving home, I thought of driving my van or my car right off the bridge, because I just thought, what's the point? HIV ruined my life. I don't need to be alive. What's the point? No one's going to ever want me. No one's going to like me. I'm one of those fucking stigmas, And that's what we think when we get diagnosed with something that society deems as disgusting or less than. And yeah, that was a hard time. So I can imagine how other people felt, especially before medicine was so amazing with it. I take one pill a day now. Now I see there's a pill I think you can take once a month or twice a month, something like that. I'm like, what? Like, it's very interesting. So I think this is coming to an end. I mean, probably within the next 5 to 10 years, I feel like, but that's just my opinion. Technology is just becoming very, very amazing, and I'm very grateful for that. But honestly, HIV taught me a lot about myself. Drugs. I turned to drugs. From 2011, I turned to drugs in 2015, 4 years after my diagnosis. It was just building up. Then I got into a relationship with a man that was on drugs, that I could save him. So I told him, hey, just do drugs at the house. And he did. And I'll never forget that night. He took his clothes off, and it looked fun. So I started doing it, and we had a good time. And it started a downward spiral. My military career was questionable. My last year and a half was shitty, like it was, because 2015 is when I started using drugs. So it was really my last year and a half, because it was the end of 2015, really. So it was really about my last year that I was just a piece of shit. I was lost. They did take my responsibilities away, but I still kept my rank. I was lost. I was so lost. I wanted to die. I was cutting myself. I was doing drugs, smoking crack. I was taking knives and just doing that to me, just bleeding a little. Not deep. They weren't real deep, but bleeding enough. Enough to bleed. Enough to look over and be like, And the next day my arms would burn. And the most humiliating moment for me was having to be in front of all these soldiers, like for when we do our health assessment every year. And you take your blouse off so they see all my cuts and stuff. And I'm just embarrassed being in front of everybody. My peers, other sergeants, my soldiers I used to be in charge of were there, and it just was embarrassing, and saddening, very saddening for me. Then I got sent down to Fort Knox for a mental health evaluation. I was put on a profile for a few months. It was awful, and the military was good to me. I was not good to them that last year. I was ready to die. I was done, and which is crazy because the military was the one thing I loved more than anything. I loved it. It was my joy. I did very good. I did a lot of amazing things in it. But depression took over. It took me. Drugs took me. It all took me to a place that I never thought I would go. And I'm very grateful for who I am, for what I've been through, what I've accomplished. I'm still struggling. But through the struggle comes greatness, I feel like. And my time will eventually come. I'm just waiting in the dark. But yeah, so I don't know how you guys all respond to depression. I don't know what everyone's been through. But you know what? Ultimately, I can't even fathom what some people go through. It's people way worse than what I've gone through, and some probably people way worse than what you guys have gone through. And we just don't know what that limit is where someone's finally like, I've had enough, and just be done with life. And I think that's so sad and scary. And we have the opportunity to empower each other. No matter where you work or what you do in your personal life, we have the opportunity to empower people to be better, to do better, to talk to them like they're human beings, to make sure they understand, even if you're their supervisor at their job or something, that you can help people accountable, but you don't have to talk down to them. You don't have to make them feel less than. You don't have to make them feel like they're not enough, because you could be part of the reason they finally shoot themselves or do pills or do something or run their car off a bridge or jump off a bridge. You don't know. And I would think most people would feel terrible if the way they responded to the situation was the reason someone, took their life. And obviously there's certain situations you really have to just be on people and speak to them in a way that needs to be spoke. But and where the issues are addressed, and maybe sometimes in a not so nice way. But ultimately, we have the power to control how we treat people and how we talk to them and develop them and love them. Because you can love people. You don't got to know people to love them. You can love them. You can just say, you know what, I love you. You crazy ass. You just ate all my chicken nuggets. But damn, I love you, crazy ass. Because you do it again, you get fucked up. You can love people in those moments. You can do all these wonderful things with people. And it's amazing. It's lovely. People are lovely. And they're fucked up. And they're crazy. And they do things that make us sick to our stomachs sometimes, and they do things that make us feel ooh and lovely. And humanity it's a very interesting thing. I don't think there's any other way. You can say wonderful, you can say beautiful, but the truth of the matter is human beings are destructive, disgusting at times, discouraging. But then there's those moments where they're lovely, and they build and build and build, and it's just an amazing thing to be a part of. It's an amazing thing to just see. And even in the destructive things, sometimes through destruction, even self-destruction comes, I don't know, a lot of beauty, a lot of strength, because through destruction you start to realize, like me smoking crack, I realized for once I was not better than a single motherfucker on this planet. I had a complex. I thought I was better. I really did. I thought everything I did was, ain't nobody fucking with me. I work 3 jobs. I take care of my family. I spend money on my friends. I do what the fuck I gotta do. I'm Jeffrey motherfucking Dahmer. But now I more say I'm Jeffrey motherfucking Dahmer. Like, bitch, you got me fucked up. But like you can't, you just can't, you cannot rule people out when they fail. And I think some people do that. People don't want people to fail, but failure is the best teacher. It just is. People can say it's cheesy. You want to minimize failure, obviously. That's the best thing to do, but sometimes failure is where the light comes in. It's where it clicks. You see, like, oh, I fucked that up. Damn it, I'm going to do this way. Like, I'm telling you right now, failure to me has been the best teacher for me. People told me a million times what I needed to do, and I didn't. A lot of people thought I'd be doing drugs a lot sooner than when I did them, but I finally did fall victim to that. I fell victim to the stresses of life and the sadness and the bitterness, and I became part of the problem. I became part of the things I didn't want to be. So I don't know, but so I'm going to end this, but I just wanted to say, through all of our depression, no matter what happens, whether it's you've been beat down, molested, raped, HIV, herpes, okay, what else they got there? To hepatitis, diabetes, be in an abusive relationship, whatever your situation may be, whatever you've been through, you can overcome it, and you will. If you believe, and that sounds cheesy, but it's not only just like as cheesy as believing it, it's really, you have to try to find a support group in some way. There has to be someone in your life to make you smile or laugh, because that will be hard to get through that. It's really hard. I've had moments where I didn't think, or people left me because I was acting stupid. I was on drugs. I was lost. I wanted to die. And I didn't. I made it through it. And I am alive and well. And I'm going to continue being that way because I love who I am. So, but anyways, I'm going to get off here. I love you all. Stay blessed. Keep your head up. And for those that don't know me, you can always reach out and talk. I am here for you, as people have been there for me. So I love you. Stay blessed. And remember, even though we're depressed, we're still good looking.